Dame presented by Citi. Notre Dame has won the toss, elects to defer, so Miami will get its hands on the ball first. Mitch Jeter to kick things off for the Fighting Irish at Notre Dame. Just the third meeting in the history between these two schools. Notre Dame has won both of them, but the wins span some 108 years. Both of these storied programs have been playing football a long, long time. Miami's been playing football for 136 seasons. Great winning tradition of coaches, the cradle of coaches, and there's the latest one, the longest tenured Miami, Ohio coach in history, Chuck Martin, hoping his team has some magic today. So here we go on a 92-degree day in South Bend. Kevin Davis letting the kick go to the end zone. So Miami, Ohio comes out to its 25-yard line, and that's where Brett Gabbert and the Miami offense will begin. Gabbert's got a lot of weapons at his disposal, plenty of options, but the main man is number 15, Cade McDonald. He will be active all game long, and you can see the couple of weeks that he's had as those lineups are brought to you by Papa John's. So number 15, Cade McDonald, the man to watch along with Gabbert on offense here. And they will have a running back by committee, Miami, Ohio will. And you can see Boubacar Traore, who steps in for Jordan Botelho, who is injured, out for the season. So even though Notre Dame got the big win last week, they lost 3 starters for the season, 2 on the offensive line, which we'll discuss in a moment. But there's Boubacar Traore, number 5, in now in a big spot in place of Botelho. So right to the air goes Gabbert to the near side. You'll see a lot of this, but wrestled down quickly at the 30 as he connects with Javon Tracy. There is Gabbert, who had a horrific leg injury last year. Cost him the last 6 games. He has been injured a lot in his career, but it's amazing that he came back, Jason Garrett, to even play in the opener against Northwestern. He had 10.5 months to rehab a compound fracture. Tough stuff, but he's back here. And a quick drop by Gabbert, and he just throws it away. Intended for Reggie Virgil. That'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, Brett Gabbert's a great story for Miami, Ohio. Has been there. This is his 6th year, and he's been the starter all the way back to 2019. Played a lot of games. He's missed a lot of games because of injury, and coming back as quickly as he did from that compound fracture, really pretty amazing. But it speaks to the kind of guy he is. He absolutely loves football. Eats, sleeps, and drinks it. He's worked hard. He's gotten better and better. He's moving around better with each coming week of this season.
That's Kevin Davis, his running back in motion, as Gabbert on 3rd and 3 fires and complete. And it's across the 40 for a Red Hawk 1st down. Pass complete to Kevin Davis. You'll see a lot of him in that mode today.
And this is what they do. They like to displace their running backs and put them all over the formation. And Davis is the best one. He lines up outside. He runs a hitch route. You can see what Miami's trying to do at the outset of this ball game. They're going to try to use the short, quick passing game as their running game. Get the ball out quickly and get these chains moving.
They've had a total of 64 yards rushing in the first 2 games, which is just ridiculous low number. Nonetheless, they've been in the first 2 games. Gabbert on 1st down, knocks away, and the ball is loose. The scramble down there, and the ball is still loose inside the 30, and Miami trying to recover, and it appears they did. But it's a big-time loss.
This is a veteran offensive line for Miami, but their head coach, Chuck Martin, was concerned about pass protection. That's why they've been trying to get the ball out. Jados, the left tackle, overpowered, and it looks like the ball just comes out of his hand as he was climbing up into the pocket. People all around him. Hey, it's almost the tuck play. Let's go back to Tom Brady. Way back when, becomes a fumble. Miami pounces on it. You don't want to be in this down and distance against the Irish.
Yeah, it's a loss of 15. So Gabbert in a deep hole, goes to work again, complete close to the 40-yard line by Reggie Virgil. Big 6'4" wideout from Apopka, Florida, who caught a 58-yard touchdown pass last week in the loss against Cincinnati.
Love the approach right there by Gabbert. When it's second and forever, let's make this thing manageable. Try your best to cut it in half. He finds the in cut. 3rd and 11 is not easy, but it's a manageable situation for these guys. I would anticipate Al Golden to play man-to-man coverage here, and don't be surprised if he brings some heat. That's the DNA of this defense.
Gabbert on 3rd and 12, incomplete. And Miami, Ohio will have to put it away.
This is what Notre Dame does on defense. They want to put pressure on you. Regardless of the down and distance, they're going to make it hard on you. Watch yourself in the slot there. There's Jordan Clark defending the slot. Xavier Watts, one of the best safeties in the country, comes down and plays man-to-man coverage. When you see all those blue shirts stuck on those white shirts, it becomes a hard day. Notre Dame can win up front. They can win on the back end playing man-to-man. It's going to be tough for Miami.
Some of the good news for Notre Dame on the injury front is that Jordan Faison is back, and he's back deep for Notre Dame, calling for the fair catch. Coming up, and the ball is loose. Miami's on it at the 25.
Ruling on the field is a muff punt recovered by the kicking team.
And now the indication is Miami's got it.
Miami.
The first big turnover goes the Red Hawks' way.
Faison has been out for a couple weeks with an ankle injury, aggressively steps up in there, and he just doesn't continue to move towards the ball. As best you can, you catch the ball with your feet. He's got to continue to move into it and catch the ball high in his body. Tried to catch it away from his body and just doesn't handle it. And what a break for Miami early on. You talk about playing with an edge and a chip on your shoulder. That's all fine and good, but you have to execute. And the first thing you have to execute with is the ball.
That is Hudson Powell who recovers it for Miami, and they are in big-time business at the Notre Dame 26. Just what Marcus Freeman didn't need to see. Gabbert, play action. Going to the far side, into the end zone, incomplete. He wanted Javon Tracy, who's an elite kind of receiver. Christian Gray on the coverage for the Irish.
Love what Pat Welch, the offensive coordinator for Miami, does. In the first series, it was all about throwing the ball quickly. This time they go double move off of it. They go slant and go. They had an opportunity. Gray knocks it away.
Chuck Martin says Brett Gabbert has the best feel in the pocket of any quarterback that he's ever been around. This is his 41st start. He's got all sorts of experience, as you said, in his 6th year. Comes across the middle, and it's complete. Inside the 10, down to about the 5-yard line is Cade McDonald. The #1 target for Gabbert, and a gain of 21 on that one.
He sure is. McDonald was all over the place last week against Cincinnati. They love him in the slot. He runs up and runs across the field. Rod Hurd's in coverage. He's an outside leverage. I love how fast McDonald plays. He plays at full speed. He runs up in and out of his cuts and creates separation. And one more time, Gabbert is on the money, and Miami is knocking on the door.
First and goal from the Notre Dame 5, trying to take advantage of this opening turnover. Gabbert, quick drop back, looks toward the goal line, pass is broken up. And it looks like they might have had an interception. Yes, Notre Dame picks it off. Junior Tuihalamaka, number 44, turns the tables right back on Miami. So Notre Dame comes up with a big play off of its own turnover. Christian Gray with a tip. And the interception by Tuihalamaka. Statue here at Notre Dame as well. And a big hero of Chuck Martin growing up.
If you're a football guy, the history and tradition of this game at Miami, Ohio, and all the great coaches from there, and certainly at Notre Dame, Parcheesi's a big part of both of them.
And but getting deep in their own territory, Notre Dame trying to get some breathing room here. That was Jeremiah Love on the first down carry. As we take a look at the Notre Dame Offense brought to you by Papa John's. Again, the offensive line reconfigured with the injuries. So out for the season, Ashton Craig. He was the center. Pat Coogan fills in for him. You've got Faison, who's back after the injury we noted, but a new reconfigured offensive line. Rocco Spindler in there at right guard. Again, Billy Scrouth out with an ankle injury as flags come in here to stop this play.
Ball start. Number 72 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
And that's on Sam Pendleton, the left guard.
Yeah, Dan, just pretty sloppy so far. You think about the muff punt by Faison, giving Miami an opportunity there, and now you're coming out, you make the big interception, but then you have the false start in the shadow of your own goalpost. Notre Dame just has to settle down and start executing ball plays.
So second down and 11, ball at their own 3. Leonard takes the snap at his end zone. And moving the pile up close to the 10-yard line is Jeremiah Love, gain to 6 for Love. As you look at the numbers for Leonard, just crazy rushing yards last week. Completion percentage, though, through the air, 62%. Not a single touchdown pass so far this season. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns, including 3 in the first half alone last week against Purdue. So here on 3rd and 5, they've got Devin Ford, third down running back next to Leonard. That's Jaden Greathouse in motion, who sets up back out to the left. Leonard avoiding the heat and getting just across the 10-yard line, just for a gain of 1, where he's brought down by Corey Suttle and Corbin Hondrew as well.
And this has been a common theme for Notre Dame throughout this season. You talked about the inefficiency in the passing game. Looks like a lot of times Riley Leonard's looking, he's looking again. No place to go, not willing to cut that ball loose. There's a pressure front by Miami. They smelled blood in the water. They came after him, guarded him on the back end, and a big sack.
And Miami, Ohio has a chance to pick up some good field position here, as it is James Rendell who has been struggling a bit as the punter for Notre Dame. This one is a good one. Gets it to turn over and drives Cade McDonald all the way back to the 36-yard line. So a good punt at that time. But a couple of early turnovers by both the Irish and the Redhawks. No score with 8.5 left. And losing to the Huskies, the big blowout win over Purdue, and now off to a slow start here against Miami, Ohio. And he just says, you know what? We were not ready for Northern Illinois, and said in fact, he told us, he goes, there wasn't anybody in the building over the offices at the Goog that thought they were going to lose to Northern Illinois. So what did they learn?
Well, hopefully they learned that lesson. It doesn't look like it so far. They've been sloppy and sluggish, turning the ball over. There have been some penalties. They haven't gotten into any rhythm on offense. But the number one job as a coach is the mindset and the mentality of your team. It's also your number one challenge.
Here's Gabbert beginning this drive with a handoff, and rolling up to the 40 is Kevin Davis. He turned off all the televisions in the offices around the football facility that show all the college football highlights all week long, after they had a chance to kind of soak up all the glory of the Texas A&M win.
Hey, when you coach at Notre Dame's a national team. They talk about Notre Dame on these sports channels all day long, when you win and when you lose. A couple 3 weeks ago when they beat A&M, they're going to be in the playoff, and now they're the worst team ever. So no team, player, coach needs to listen to all that stuff. Turn it off, focus on what you need to do each day.
Here's Gabbert going to the far side. That's complete, trying to put on a nice move to the far side. It's a good move by Javon Tracy. Puts up the first down for Miami.
One thing that Gabbert is showing he's not afraid to do is throw the wide side quick game. Typically that corner, Christian Gray is going to play off. So he's going to take that quick game all day long. They have not run the ball well at all this year. This is their running game. When he sees an off corner, when he sees he has free access to a player like Tracy, he's going to cut that ball loose. Excellent run after catch by one of their best receivers.
They are last in the FBS in rushing, but Gabbert and Miami knows they can move the ball if they use the running backs right, kind of mix things up. That's Keon Mosey, just 5'7", 187 pounds. It picks up 8. Rod Hurd brings him down for Notre Dame.
And Chuck Martin talked to us about the challenge of playing these Power 4 schools early in the season, Northwestern, Cincinnati, and now Notre Dame. They want to be a physical football team. That's how they won the MAC championship last year, but they can't stand toe-to-toe with these schools that are bigger and more talented than they are, so they spread out. They use the quick game as their running game, and they just try to take some pressure off of their guys. It's been pretty effective so far against the Irish.
2nd down and 3. And we've got a false start, it appears.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 70, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
And that's on the left tackle, Will Jados. As you look at Chuck Martin. And the flinch here by Jados.
The left tackle there. He's got to block Riley Mills. Got R.J. Oben on the outside. Little anxious coming out of his stance.
2nd down and 8. Just into Irish territory here. And here we go. A little trickery there as Keon Mosey has it, and he's inside the 40-yard line. And the ball coming up with it after a gain of 11 there. The ball got loose.
Got a 1st down.
This is at the end of the down. See Xavier Watts, one of the best ball hawks in the country. Looks like he
was down, huh?
Yeah, it looks like his right hip goes down before that ball. Oh, we'll see. It's right at it. Again, ruled down on the field, hard to overturn it.
And a 1st and down, 1st and 10 for Miami at the 40 of Notre Dame. And they're getting some yards up the middle here, Coach. Dylan Downing joining the rushing attack here.
Pretty easy to see what their approach is, trying to throw the ball first, use that as their running game, but then as this Notre Dame defense softens a little bit, let's use a little misdirection, let's use a little motion, and then start running the ball. They want to be balanced. Chuck Martin is an old school football coach. He knows he can't throw it 60 times in this game and beat Notre Dame, but it's certainly been pass first to loosen up that front and then start running the football. It's been effective.
2nd down and 5. And out across to the 32-yard line is Jack Coldiron, the main target at tight end for Gabbert.
Got to believe in this situation, Dan, that it's going to be 4-down territory for Miami. Got it on the 32-yard line. It's 3rd and 2, so wouldn't be surprised. You got to look at these, if you're the play caller, look at these plays together. If you are going to go for it on 4th down, this is a possible run here, cut it in half, and then go make your 4th and short if you don't convert right now.
Al Golden, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, trying to stop this latest 3rd down attempt. 3rd down and 2 for Miami, trying to keep this drive alive.
Timeout. Miami, that's their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
You know, the other piece of it in this kind of a situation, Dan, is if you are the underdog, if you are Miami, Ohio, coming into Notre Dame Stadium, this becomes an opportunity to go score a touchdown. Cade McDonald has been their slot receiver. He has been dominant over the first 2 weeks of this season. If Brett Gabbert sees a matchup that he likes in this 3rd and 2 situation of man-to-man, Gabbert's experienced enough, confident enough, maybe to cut one loose to McDonald, see if they can get an early score against this Irish defense. We'll see.
Miami already has 22 rushing yards on this drive alone, Coach. And so that has to feed into the positivity of the Miami sideline, because their rushing game has been pretty much non-existent. They lost some players. They lost Gage Levardan to South Carolina, transferred Rashad Amos. He was one of their top playmakers last year, and so that was what Chuck Martin had to deal with before the season even started.
Chuck doesn't like to be 133rd in the country rushing the football.
On 3rd and 2, Gabbert looks to his right, and he's got it complete, but not for much. Kevin Davis on the catch. Tui Alamaka, who picked up the interception earlier, on the stop, and a loss of 3.
Tough injury last week with Jordan Botelho, going to be out for the season, but gives guys like Tui Alamaka more opportunity to play here. He's the guy who made the interception earlier. and now he's in coverage. He's the defensive end rushing, but he's responsible for the back if he free releases. Excellent job seamlessly converting his rush into coverage and making a play. And you go from 3rd and 2 to 4th and 6, not what Chuck Martin wanted, and he's going to take a timeout.
Miami, that's their second charge timeout.
Yeah, they burn a couple of early timeouts as Chuck Martin doesn't want to mess around here, wants to get the right play call here. They're at the 36-yard line, so it's a long field goal attempt. But this looks a little bit eerily the same, Coach, as what we saw a couple of weeks ago against Northern Illinois. I think the rushing statistics early for Miami bode pretty well for them early as far as confidence goes.
Absolutely, and I like their approach. Throw the ball early in this game, loosen them up a little bit, and then hopefully that softens this Notre Dame defense, who's an excellent run defense. And Miami has had some success running the football, and they want to keep that kind of rhythm to keep Notre Dame off balance. Was surprised by the call there, though. They've been running the ball effectively enough, like we talked about. When it's 3rd and 2, when you know it's a 4-down situation, go ahead and run it. Find a way to run the ball. Maybe you make it, maybe you don't, but you don't want to go backwards in that situation. 4th and 6 is not easy for this Miami offense against Al Golden. Al Golden's going to play man-to-man coverage and heat him up, so get ready.
4th down, Notre Dame trying to hold here a little bit outside of Dom Jobin's field goal expertise. So here we go. The Redhawks need 6 for a 1st down. And it's Gabbert to the air. Pass incomplete. And Notre Dame will take over. Intended for Kevin Davis. It was a Don Schuler on the coverage for the Irish. So still no score as Gabbert tried to connect with Davis. A little out of reach. Incomplete. Tap alone as we take a look at our players on the rise, brought to you by Hyundai. Not only the 100 rushing yards, the 3 touchdowns, the 100 pass yards in the first half. First time it's been done since Lamar Jackson got it done in 2016. By the way, Lamar Jackson did it in 1 quarter.
Yeah, that's elite company right there.
Nonetheless, it was a great game for Leonard downfield. He takes a big shot, and it's incomplete. We got a flag on the play as he wanted his tight end, Mitchell Evans. Matt Salopek, I should say, is on the coverage for Miami, the do-it-all linebacker on the tight end.
Chuck Martin's head might pop off here.
Pass interference. Defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
What do you think, Coach?
You know, I think it's a good call. He gets that right hand in there, and he restricts Evans' ability to go up with his right hand to catch the football. So I like the call. There's going to be a little debate because on the 4th and 6 on the previous drive, he kind of felt that Don Schuler was grabbing his guy Davis on that hitch route. So he just wants it to be evened out, and he's letting the officials know about it.
Yeah, he's had 2 calls he thinks gone against him. The 4th down call that you mentioned, and then that one. And so on the ground is Jadarian Price. He had a big touchdown last week, 47 yards to the end zone. In the blowout against Purdue, that one good for 15 yards. Salopek was on the stop.
Notre Dame has one of the best 1-2 punches at running back in the country, and Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. Absolutely love Price's ability to cut laterally. His lateral quickness is excellent. You see him time and time again get lateral and then capture that edge and make big yards for the Irish.
Picks up the 1st down, and the Irish all of a sudden in business at the Miami 35. Leonard rolling to his right, just out of the outstretched arms of Chris Mitchell. He had him, but he didn't hit him.
And these are the throws that we're talking about with Riley Leonard. You have to be efficient. You have to be able to make this throw, particularly against this defense. They're going to give them these throws. I like the call on an early down. Come out, get them moving. Get away from that pass rush. You got to come out and bang Chris Mitchell on the face mask with that and get the ball moving. It's an area that Notre Dame must improve on as they go forward.
2nd down and 10. Leonard from the empty set. Again, immediately rolling to his right, on the move and unable to connect with Cooper Flanagan. 2nd down and 10. Leonard from the empty set. Again, immediately rolling to his right, on the move and unable to connect with Cooper Flanagan. 2nd down and 10. And we've got some boos ringing down from the stadium there as Leonard clearly is out of sync here.
Well, I know what Mike Denbrock is doing, the offensive coordinator. Just move him and give him his first option throw. He had Mitchell on the first one. He's right there. Now he comes back. It's Flanagan. This is the first guy he's looking for. And for a guy who's so athletic on the run as a runner, typically he's been a pretty good passer on the run. Certainly not on those last two. Not playing with a lot of confidence throwing the football right now.
So now 3rd and 10. And Leonard's got to throw it again. And now he's running for his life, able to scramble, flags fly in. Leonard's got some pressure from behind, but outruns it and gets it down close to the 25-yard line before he's finally run out there and goes down hard to the turf. But a flag came out as Leonard was climbing the left edge.
Hard to think that's not going to be a holding penalty once Leonard started to climb up in the pocket. We'll see what the call is.
Holding, number 72 offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Another one on Pendleton. And this is the hit on Leonard as he was close to the sideline there, Coach. That is Corbin Hondrew.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. That left foot is still in the green. It's not in the white. So I know we want to protect quarterbacks these days, but a good no call there. And I'll tell you what, this Ty Wise, number 10 for Miami, he's a linebacker, but an excellent 3rd down rusher for them, beating Pendleton inside. Pendleton had no choice.
Denbrock said he wanted to take some shots against this Miami defense, but this is 3rd and 20 and a tough one. Pass is complete, well short of the 1st down. Jaden Greathouse hauls it in, but that brings up 4th down.
Yeah, and that might have been, for me, Riley Leonard's best throw of the season. Love what he did right there. Climbed up in the pocket on a 3rd and extra long situation and delivers a strike to Greathouse on the in cut. The biggest thing is getting up in there. 2 hands on the ball. Puts the ball a foot in front of Greathouse. Greathouse plucks it. They make 10. They get themselves in field goal range. After the disastrous penalty, giving themselves a chance to get some.
Oh, and they muffed the snap as Jeter was lining up for a 51-yarder. And just hurls it downfield. Could this drive have gotten any worse for Notre Dame? After a couple of misconnects between Leonard and his receivers who were open. Then they line up for a field goal by Jeter. Snap is low. Chris Salerno, the holder, couldn't handle it.
There's no foul intentional
Jeter
grounding
picks
as
it
an
up.
eligible receiver was in the area.
And Notre Dame
Immediate
looking
timeout.
lackluster again here at home.
Not a good start for the Irish.
Both sides of the football, we've had a muff punt, we've had a muff snap that the holder couldn't hang on to, a couple early turnovers, and so in the final minute 40 of this 1st quarter, we still have no score as Miami begins this drive and gets it out to the 35 with Jordan Brunson. Back to the botched field goal that Jeter was lining up from 51 yards.
The long snapper cross. The snap is down, and Chris Salerno, the holder, it's not an easy one to catch, but he has his hands turned the wrong way. On that low ball that's way down below your waist, you got to get your hands up underneath it. That's the only way it'll give you a chance to survive it. But what a drive by Notre Dame. A lot of positive things. Then they're going backwards. Then they get themselves in field goal range. And then they botch the field goal attempt. Fits and starts for this Irish team, and Marcus Freeman's pulling his hair out.
Yeah, we'll see if Miami can get something going here at the end of the 1st quarter. Gabbert's got some pressure from behind, races out of it. He's not a speedster, but just fast enough to get a 1st down and more. That was junior Tuialamaka who was applying the pressure, but Gabbert gets out of it and gains 15.
You can't rush behind the quarterback. You got to rush to the top shoulder of the quarterback. It's a good rush by Tuialamaka, but excellent by Gabbert, setting a point in his drop back and then climbing up and finding a lane up inside and making a play with his feet.
Gabbert is so savvy. He's been starting ever since he was a freshman. His older brother, 2-time Super Bowl champion, Blaine Gabbert. His other brother is also a good athlete. And around the left side with a ton of room is Davis. Big chunks for the Redhawks right now.
And you don't see this Notre Dame defense get manhandled like this very much. First it's a quarterback run, and then they capture the edge, running the football. Miami, one of the worst rushing teams in the country. They're finding ways. They're finding some creases against this Irish defense.
I'm trying to process what we saw last week with Notre Dame against Purdue. Miami 0-2. Looks like the better team in the early going here at the end of one. Freeze on the field. And no one heating up by any measure here. Miami and Notre Dame. Some miscues early, Coach, have been the theme of this game.
Yeah, ugly start for Notre Dame, and sometimes you put pressure on yourself. 66-7 last week against Purdue. Hey, we're going to do that again against Miami. That's not really how it works. You have to execute in football, and they have not. It started with Jordan Faison dropping the punt early on, giving Miami an opportunity. Golden field position. Riley Leonard having no confidence throwing the football. Some bad misses. They're not tackling on defense. This is Christian Gray giving Tracy a chance. And then again, that last series, the opportunity to get some points for Notre Dame. They can't snap, hold, and kick it. So it's been ugly for the Irish early. They got to get their act together.
And Miami set up at the Irish 31. And Gabbert going for it all for the end zone. Incomplete. He wanted Reggie Virgil. Jaden Mickey on the coverage.
Mickey getting the opportunity at that field corner spot. Excellent poise at the end of the down. He gets beat. There's contact a little bit early, but a good job getting a hand up in there and making it hard on the other end for Virgil. You can see Miami's mentality, though, when they get one-on-one in the scoring zone. They're trying to go score a touchdown.
Yeah, they like Virgil, who's 6'4", who can win a lot of those battles. So here is Keon Mosey going right inside the 20. Jordan Clark finally brought him down, but again, Miami's just racking up rushing yards after being anemic in that department. That was another 11 by Mosey. And take a look at this. Rushing yards this season, 32, already 44 today. That number there on the left, as we mentioned, last among the FBS schools.
And that's for the game. And if you add that last rush onto the 44, they're well up over 50. I think Notre Dame's having a hard time with their fly sweep motion. Every time one of those guys comes across in motion, it seems to disorient the front and create some holes up there for this Miami offense.
That's Gabbert pulling it out of Mosey and then going in for another strike. This one complete inside the 10. First and goal Miami to Cam Perry.
One more time, it's one of those RPOs. You can hand the ball off if you like it. You get man-to-man coverage and like that inside slant, put it on him. Cam Perry, excellent job running up on Rod Hurd, getting close to him and breaking inside. Ball a little bit behind. It's a good body catch down there with that defender on you. And one more time, Miami's knocking on the door. First and goal inside the 10.
Just big gain after big gain. That one good for 13. Ball at the 7-yard line. Miami trying to open the scoring in this game. And Gabbert going for the end zone, incomplete. He wanted Virgil again. Coaches told us that Reggie Virgil is coming on and he would be a popular target for Gabbert in addition to Cade McDonald.
Again, you see what they're trying to do. Virgil is 6'4". Andre Johnson 6'4". When they get opportunities to throw the ball down the field in man-to-man coverage, Gabbert's just throwing the ball up. I think he has to be a little firmer with the throw. He's just trying to lay the ball up there and not really giving his guy a chance. If he's firmer with the throw one of those hard back shoulders, I think those are more difficult to defend. Notre Dame's done a good job, both Mickey and Morrison, making sure they don't complete those opportunities.
Al Golden's defense just backpedaling now. Quick strike, incomplete. Flag comes in. That was intended for Cade McDonald. And now Chuck Martin says, now what do we got?
False start. Offense. All 11 players were not set for 1 second prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Pre-snap penalties will kill you in this situation. They're knocking on the door on the 7-yard line. There's just movement early before the snap. So now they got to come back, and staying balanced here is critical. When they've gotten down here the last couple times, it seems like it's throw, throw, throw. They've run the ball effectively enough in this game. You'd like to see them give that a shot right now to keep this Notre Dame defense honest.
Second and goal from the 12. That is Dylan Downing in the backfield. Gabbert back to pass again, complete, and trying to get out of the arms is Javon Tracy of Jordan Clark, who spun him around and held on.
And a good tackle by Jordan Clark right there. In those situations, oftentimes you get man-to-man, and you're really counting on the run after the catch. Give your receiver an opportunity, he break a tackle, and he runs in the end zone. Jordan Clark having nothing to do with that. Savvy football player, productive football player. A lot of plays on the ball, and a very good tackler from that nickel position.
Well, it'll be a nice victory here, moral victory for Notre Dame if they can hold Miami to a field goal attempt here. 3rd and goal. Ball on the 8.
Looks like a 4-man rush.
Gabbert surveys, floats it up to the corner, incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down and a field goal attempt. Reggie Virgil again, the intended receiver.
And this is what Benjamin Morrison does as well as anybody in the country. One more time, it's a fade route into the corner of the end zone. 6'4" receiver working on the 6'2" Morrison. Does a good job maintaining contact, but just his poise at the ball.
So this is
at the ball, but the receiver feels the presence. Good job tipping it away.
Dom Jobin, who used to be the punter for Miami, now the field goal kicker. And he's able to bang it through for the opening points of the ball game, which come with 12.5 minutes left in the opening half. 10-play, 58-yard drive. Marcus Freeman does indeed hold him to a field goal. In it. Hasn't turned out quite that way. Notre Dame's having an off day, but this team has looked pretty impressive in the early going here.
They sure have, and they've played Power 4 opponents the last couple weeks, so they're used to this standard of play, but he made no bones about it. He said Notre Dame, by far the most talented team they will play, and everything needs to go right for them, and they haven't been perfect, but they've certainly taken advantage of Notre Dame's sloppiness here early on.
So that's Kellen McLaughlin kicking off, and awaiting is Jaden Harrison, who comes out. And then on the other side here is Jeremiah Love with a little razzle-dazzle to the next level here to the 45. So that's mixing things up a little bit.
Yeah, really well done by Marty Biaggi, the special teams coach.
Legal block in the back, number 44, return team. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Well, that takes a little bit of the spark out of it, but
it sure does. I like the aggressiveness by Biaggi, the special teams coach, to get it to arguably your best player, Jeremiah Love. And the block in the back negates it. Tui Alamaka's been all over this game. He's intercepting passes, he's making tackles, but also ill-advised block right there. It's a huge swing. Whenever you have a penalty here in the kicking game, it's a 30 or 40-yard penalty, taking this thing all the way back into the shadow of their own goalpost.
So what do you do here if you're Denbrock with Riley Leonard, coach? Get back to...
You run the ball.
Yep, I had a feeling you were going to go there.
You run the ball. Get this offensive line going, get number 4 going, get number 24 going, get Riley Leonard going as a runner, and then the passing game will come as this game unfolds.
And start winning this battle up front, right? Even with an offensive line that has got some experience. Remember, Coogan and Spindler, who were at center and right guard, they got beat out by younger players, but they have a lot of experience as they're trying to move that Red Hawk defensive line up front. That was a gain of 3 for Leonard. As you look at the quarterback design runs this season, 4 touchdowns. The Power 4 ranks for Riley Leonard. I mean, there's no doubt the guy can run.
Those ranks are pretty good.
They knew that at Duke. They knew what they were getting when he transferred from Duke. Had that monster sophomore season while a Blue Devil. And still trying to get in the rhythm here. And no rhythm as Notre Dame going backwards. And that is Brian Ugu, who is a force up front for Miami, who just drove him back for a loss of 4.
It's a good job by this Miami front, just getting off the ball and penetrating. It does not look clean in the backfield. They're pulling guys. They pull the tight end from the backside. That's Mitchell Evans. But the penetration kills these kinds of plays. You have to win the line of scrimmage. Notre Dame has not done that consistently.
That was Jeremiah Love being forced back, and now they're on the ground again, just trying to churn something, get some sort of positivity going. But Miami's defense, which historically for Chuck Martin and his team has been good, and they are winning the battle up front right now on Notre Dame.
And I think they also understand that Notre Dame is going to try to run the football, so there's a lot of guys around the line of scrimmage, and these guys are teeing off in the running game. It's an excellent job by this Miami defense. Their defensive coordinator, Bill Breakin, getting these guys playing the right way. And Notre Dame struggling to find their identity on the offensive side of the football.
Last time Rendell kicked out of his own end zone, he put up a beauty, a 53-yarder. This is another good one. He's been inconsistent, but he drives Cade McDonald back. McDonald is elusive, and he gives Miami good field position all the way up to about the 48-yard line to begin this latest drive, and with a 3-0 lead. Crowd is shocked here at Notre Dame Stadium. Down 3-0.
And we're going to the greatest venue on the planet. I've been a diehard Notre Dame fan since probably the first thing my parents taught me. Wasn't you got to go to school and learn, was like, this is Notre Dame football, this is Notre Dame basketball. This is the only team that matters on the planet. I didn't know there was professional sports.
So Chuck Martin very candid about his feelings for Notre Dame. Grew up in the south side of Chicago in Park Forest. That's what his parents taught him, Notre Dame. And he was an assistant here for 4 years under Brian Kelly before moving on to take the head coaching job here at Miami. So it could be a very big day for him if his team is able to hang on. Incomplete there as he was tended for Cade McDonald. Rob Hurd on the coverage.
We had such a great visit with Chuck Martin the other day, and he is a diehard Notre Dame guy. He's rattling off the history of Notre Dame football and basketball. He's talking about Digger Phelps' guys in 1974, knocking off Bill Walton and John Wooden in UCLA, ending their 88-game win streak. He's talking about Orlando Woolridge hitting the fadeaway on Ralph Sampson. It just rattles off of his tongue. He loves it. This is an interesting, challenging, emotional day for him because he's such an Irish fan.
And his team is outgaining Notre Dame 131-38 here after the first quarter of play. Gabbard in trouble here, goes down for a loss. That'll bring up 3rd and long. Howard Cross, the big 6'1", 288-pound defensive tackle up front there for Notre Dame on the stop.
And a swarm of these guys up front is not only Cross, it's Osbury on the edge. A lot of people around the quarterback right here, and you see this Notre Dame defensive front. Their get-off was critical. Not a lot of space for Gabbert when he climbs the pocket.
So 3rd down and a test here for Gabbert, trying to take advantage of this good field position, which began at the 47. Flags come
Legal
in.
substitution, offense, breaking the huddle with 12 players. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And you heard it right there from the referee, Gary Patterson. And that'll get Chuck's ire.
It's been sloppy on both sides of the ball. The pre-snap penalties certainly will kill you. Now it becomes 3rd and extra long, and if you're Brett Gabbert, you just have to be smart with the ball here. You're up 3-0 with 9 and change to go in the second quarter at Notre Dame. Don't do something stupid and give them a short field.
3rd and 18. And they'll be on the ground with it. And getting across the 45-yard line is Mosey. He's just 5'7", 187 pounds, but he gets most of the carries and has done so the last 3 years for Chuck Martin's offense. Gain of 6, but still 4th down and 6.
And I like the call by Pat
12,
Welch, the offensive coordinator of Miami. You want to stay aggressive, you want to keep attacking, but 3rd and 18 doesn't, you don't convert those very often. So run the football, play field position, see the game in total. Understand that Notre Dame is struggling on offense. See if you can pin them back there one more time and make them go the length of the field. Play to your defense a little bit.
Alec Bevelheimer to punt for Miami. And remember, Faison muffed the punt the last time he was in. Calls for a fair catch here at the 12-yard line. So that's where Notre Dame will take over with 8:32 left in the half. And with that, we send you back down to Zora.
Some observations from the Notre Dame sidelines after the last couple of empty offensive possessions. Quarterback Riley Leonard walked off the field, tapping his chest and saying, "My bad." The offensive linemen continue to have passion in their huddles. At one point, wide receiver Bo Collins went over and said, "We're good." Then defensive back Jaden Mickey went over and encouraged. So mixed emotions over there for Notre Dame.
You know, they talked last week, Coach, after the loss to Northern Illinois before the Purdue game about building up Riley Leonard's confidence. Marcus Freeman was instrumental in doing that, met with the quarterback in several mornings, and Riley Leonard was very thankful for that, saying that he needed it. He went through one of the most difficult times of his career after that loss to Northern Illinois, and then he goes crazy on the ground. Everything seems right with Notre Dame, and here we are a week later.
Yeah, when you're the quarterback at Notre Dame, it's not unlike being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys or the shortstop for the Yankees. Sometimes when things are going badly, you feel like you're carrying the whole world on your shoulders, and he has to relax and just go back to start playing football and having some fun again.
2nd down and 2, and trying to pick up the 1st down. That's going to be short of it as Jaden Thomas hauls it in, but that'll bring up 3rd down.
I think they might have given it to him.
Oh, they did?
Favorable spot there.
Yeah, that's favorable. It is a 1st down. They're going to give him a gain of 3.
It's amazing the relief that Riley Leonard has in his eyes after seeing that conversion on a 1st down. Haven't been many of those early in this ball game here against Miami.
And on the ground again, across the 30-yard line. Brian Ugu on the stop of Price after a gain of 8.
Just feels different right now. Notre Dame coming off the ball a little bit. They're on the line of scrimmage. They're putting some pressure. It's a hot day out here. They're getting into a little rhythm, getting this Miami defensive front tired.
And there's a connection to the 38-yard line. And it's complete to Mitchell Evans, who was one of the best tight ends in the country last year before he tore his ACL, and he has slowly been working himself into what the coaches say now is about 100% for Evans.
Mitchell Evans run up and run out, and this is what you have to do when you play this Miami defense. They're not going to give you the big throws down the field. You just have to be efficient with the underneath stuff. A couple good throws in a row by Riley Leonard.
And movement. And a flag comes in, so Leonard's going to take this one all the way down the sideline, trying to finally get that big completion. And another flag is down on the far side as he wanted Faison. Luke Evans was on the coverage, so we've got 2 flags to deal with here. Appears both were on Miami, though. We'll see.
Offside, defense, that penalty's declined. Pass interference, number 5, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
This is textbook right here. Riley Leonard using the hard count. He gets Miami to jump. They snap it anyway, and they take a shot, probably inspired by watching Aaron Rodgers the other night on Thursday Night Football. Nobody does it better than him, and just loved how Faison just took off immediately. Knew exactly what Riley wanted, threw it out there, and they drew the DPI.
So Leonard's taking a couple of deep shots, and this time underneath. And that pass was intended for Jeremiah Love, incomplete, as Nasir Washington closed quickly.
Something that jumps off the tape when you watch Miami play on defense is just the aggressiveness, how they drive on the ball, and they're physical on these kinds of plays. It's a quick screen outside to Love. Excellent runner from inside out by Washington. Well done.
And on 2nd down and 10, Price is looking for some room, nowhere. And another flag goes down close to midfield.
Personal foul, face mask, number 8, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Big penalty on Ugu there.
It's a huge break. The Irish, this is Ugu right here, playing the defensive end position. You see the swarming Miami defense. A lot of hats getting to the football as he gets out to the edge, but Ugu clearly gets that right hand on Price's face mask and wrestles him down. It's a big break for the Irish on the tackle for loss.
And Leonard gives it to Love, and a good move, spin move, gets down to about the 22-yard line.
Absolutely love watching Jeremiah Love run the football. Just look at the quickness. We talked about Price's lateral quickness. Could put this on the clinic reel. So springy, so quick. Notre Dame defensive coaches feel like he could be a first-round corner on their team.
That's amazing.
They believe he could play wide receiver. He's an awfully good running back, too.
Marcus Freeman called him a unicorn. That kind of big-time, rare talent. Leonard to the air, beginning to find some rhythm here. Complete at the 18-yard line.
And what I love about this, Dan, is Denbrock is creating first option throws for Riley. He's going back. He's not having to progress from one receiver to the next. He's creating situations where the first guy he's looking for is open. He can deliver the ball. He's playing really decisively right now. Certainly his best drive of the game.
Pick up there to Harrison. 1st and 10 now for Notre Dame. Clock ticking, under 5 minutes left in the opening half. Notre Dame trying to keep it going, and Leonard with those moves that he says don't often look like he's just out juking everybody, as you told us yesterday, but he says, I'm pretty elusive. I know that, but when I look at myself on tape, it doesn't always look that way, but it's effective.
He's a dominant runner from the quarterback position, but he does it his own way. Denbrock was quick to say he's no Jaden Daniels, but he's effective. Riley told us that he thinks he gets away from these guys because he's so slow. They view him as a tackling dummy, and somehow his moves are so slow, it gets him off balance. Certainly did right there.
2nd down and 5. Good run by Leonard. Quick pass complete to about the 8-yard line to Jaden Thomas.
Excellent hands catch by Thomas. He throws the slant outside. The ball's behind, and he just reaches back and makes the play. He's one of those guys, Irish quarterbacks, they love throwing the ball to. Easy to see why. Excellent catch for a 1st down.
Yeah, 1st down now here for Notre Dame. 1st and goal from the Miami 8. Irish trailing 3-0 here, closing minutes of this opening half. And this is Leonard again, and why not get another rushing touchdown? That is his 5th rushing touchdown of the season.
If I were calling plays for Notre Dame down inside the low red zone, I would make sure that number 13 is running the ball. He is such a good low red zone runner. He gets these one-on-one situations. I don't care if the move is slow. It screws them all up. Whatever the reason, they can't tackle this guy when he gets down and close. His 5th touchdown, 3 last week, another this week. A big drive for the Irish.
And it's Mitch Jeter on to tack on the extra point, and it's good. So that is a fine drive of 87 yards by Notre Dame. That drive beginning at their own 13. Riley Leonard taking matters into his own hands, leading the Irish down the field on the strength of those legs on that 6'4" frame. Marcus Freeman says, yeah, way to go. Sunday Night Football, and a couple of Irish players in that tilt. Drew Tranquil, linebacker here for Notre Dame. JT Bertrand as well, a part of the action on Sunday Night Football. 3:33 left in this half. And Miami will come out to the 25 to begin this latest drive, as Notre Dame kind of turned into Notre Dame again on that previous drive.
Yeah,
that's what they're capable of.
Yeah, if you ask Chuck Martin right now, okay, 3:33 to go in the 2nd quarter, you're down 7-3. He would take it every day of the week. So his team feels confident. Certainly their worst drive defensively was the last one, but we'll see how their offense can respond. What he's trying to tell his guys, let's get one drive, field goal or touchdown, and have a good feeling going into halftime.
See what Brett Gabbert can put together here. It's been a nice mix, utilizing those running backs, breaking them out for pass receptions. Dylan Downing now flanks Gabbert to the backfield on 1st and 10 from the 25. And Gabbert goes to the air, picks up the 1st down immediately, and then some. Cade McDonald, who had 8 catches apiece in the first 2 games, totaling well over 200 yards in the first 2 games. That one good for 16 down the sideline.
And this is the guy they want to get to, and they want to get to him using the stack formation. When they play man-to-man coverage, you see McDonald here, he's behind in the stack, and the guy covering him is way off the ball. He runs up, he runs out. This Irish defense struggles with the release pattern, easy completion, good run after catch. Miami's rolling.
McDonald was a walk-on at Michigan State for 3 years before he transferred over to Miami. Has found a nice home with Gabbert, who goes to him often. Gabbert steps up, buys some time, far side, incomplete. On the coverage out there was Jaden Mickey of Javon Tracy.
Mickey getting the opportunity at that field corner. Gabbert saw the one-on-one and gave him a chance, but back to McDonald. He's been their best offensive player through the first couple weeks. 200-yard receiving games, and just a guy who's done it all in the passing game for Miami. He's catching bubble routes, he's catching corner routes and seam routes and posts. So look for them to try to get the ball in his hands as much as they can on this drive and throughout the second half. Usually good things are happening.
So 2nd down and 10 here as a timeout is called.
Timeout.
By Chuck Martin in Miami.
Third and final timeout.
And that's our final
30-second timeout
of this first half. Talking about Chuck Martin and how he fell in love with Notre Dame at a young age. He watched that Sugar Bowl, right, when they beat Alabama for the 1973 national title. He was talking to us about it the other day, and that just sparked a love affair that really hasn't stopped. The last time he came here was 2017, and his team got beat pretty badly, 52-17, by a then Brian Kelly coached team. In fact, the ties between Brian Kelly, Notre Dame, Chuck Martin, Grand Valley State run all through not just Chuck Martin, but through his staff.
They're everywhere.
He succeeded Brian Kelly at Grand Valley State.
Reek and his coordinators, Grand Valley State, Notre Dame, Miami, Ohio, they've all been together, and the influence Brian Kelly connection with Notre Dame, they're endless. 2nd
down and 10. Gabbert likes to change the play after taking a look at what he sees. And he goes on the ground, and muscling his way just across the 45 is Dylan Downing. Boubacar Traore on the stop for the Irish after a gain of 6 as we check in with Zora.
Well, let's tell a Chuck Martin story. 30 years as a football coach, and the only thing Chuck Martin has ever saved or kept is a ball from legendary Notre Dame head coach Ara Parseghian, a symbol of what the Irish mean to Martin. Coach said all he knew as a kid was Notre Dame and that Parseghian was his idol. Coach told me he can recall where he was and what he was doing whenever Notre Dame had a big win.
Fans kind of coming to life here. They want to stop here on 3rd and 4. Gabbert going for the long ball down the sidelines and almost able to connect with Davis. He was outstretched. Gabbert gave him a chance at it, but it would have been a tough one to haul in.
And this is the matchup they like. Davis is a running back. They flank him out one more time. He gets the outside release on Benjamin Morrison. They call that cover 2, deep safety in zone. Morrison sinks. Schuler been effective in man-to-man coverage and in zone, knocking the ball away.
So Miami forced to punt here as we approach the 2-minute timeout of this opening half. New to college football this year. Elvenheimer set to punt it, and flags come in and stop it.
It's going to be in Miami.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 23, kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
That's on Oscar McMwood. 7th penalty, and the yards beginning to rack up against Chuck Martin's team. Now 65 yards in penalties.
This is not the result of the drive that Martin wanted. You get the ball back with 3 and change. He certainly wanted to eat up some more time. Notre Dame getting a shot here, coming back the other way.
It's a low punt, and the fair catch is called by Faison there. 1 second before the 2-minute timeout. Punt of 40 yards there. So the offense, we talked about kind of a night and day look for Notre Dame after the first 3 drives, Coach. The last drive, pretty good, starting on their own 13.
Yeah, it was a good balance of run and pass and high percentage pass. And make that point one more time. Denbrock did a good job creating first option throws for Riley Leonard, and he looked decisive. And that's one of your goals as an offensive coordinator and play caller, is to make things easy for your guy. A lot of people talk about progressions, get to your 4th receiver. When you're calling plays at a high level, the first option is open. That's what happened on that last drive. Let's see if they can keep it going.
By the way, Denbrock was here at Notre Dame, coached with Chuck Martin, so he knows all about Chuck. As Jeremiah Love gets stopped there. In fact, it was Denbrock who told us that we asked him about Chuck Martin. What do you think of him? And he says he's as authentic as it gets. That pretty much describes Chuck Martin, who might one day have a bronze statue of himself in Oxford, Ohio. But there is the strong start for the Wolverines against the Trojans. And the Floyd of Rosedale on the line in Minneapolis. Maria Taylor, Joshua Perry, Chris Sims, Nicole Auerbach, all in the studio, ready to get you up to date as Notre Dame tries to get something going here. All three of the timeouts, Coach. 1:55 left in the
Yeah, it's a lifetime. 1:55, 3 timeouts. You can do whatever you want. But not right there. You got to be able to throw and catch. They had the matchup outside with Mitchell Evans. And one more time, Riley Leonard not on the money. And now they find themselves in that sticky little 3rd and 2 type situation. These are hard play calls.
Again, Denbrock said this whole Riley Leonard thing with the wide receivers coming in as transferred would take time. He says that he spent some time in practice with Riley Leonard's footwork, even working with his throwing technique. And on 3rd and 2, well, he doesn't need to work on his running game much because Leonard's got that down close to midfield. Big gain for Leonard.
In all the big moments, this is what Notre Dame does best. Short yardage situations, low red zone situations, create quarterback runs for Riley Leonard. He's awfully good at them. They have some good schemes. One more time, they convert on a 3rd and short.
They hustle up after the gain of 21 by Leonard to the air, and that is incomplete. It was close contact there on Chris Mitchell, but that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
And you can see this Miami defense kind of starting to sit on the routes. The only thing that Notre Dame has been able to complete has been underneath type stuff, and Mitchell can run. One of the fastest receivers that Notre Dame has. Defenders on the back end sitting on him. No place to throw the ball.
Yeah, Denbrock said Mitchell had a really good week of practice and they were going to go to him a little bit more. Who will we see here on 2nd and 10? Leonard scanning pass is caught by Mitchell. And there he is again. Another reason why they wanted to go to him more. He looked good this week. Still not one of those 3 timeouts burned by Notre Dame.
They got a lifetime. Like how they're putting mental pressure, getting on the line of scrimmage, forcing that Miami defensive line to get in their stances and then getting into the call they want.
Down to the Miami 38. Leonard going deep downfield, has a man, and it is caught. Bo Collins for the touchdown. And finally, Riley Leonard has a touchdown pass in a Notre Dame uniform.
There's your shot right there. Man-to-man coverage to his most consistent, reliable receiver so far this year, Bo Collins. Excellent route by Collins, keeping it tight. Decisive throw by Riley Leonard, getting the ball up in the air and giving Collins a chance to go get it. Big drive by the Irish.
That's a way to break out of it, Coach. 38-yard reception by Bo Collins. That is the longest pass completion by Riley Leonard all season. Comes here in the last minute of the opening half. And Jeter on to make it 14-3. And that's what Denbrock and Freeman were telling us. We just need that little bit of confidence boost in the air from Leonard, and maybe that will get this whole unit going.
Bo Collins, veteran receiver in the top of your screen, transfer from Clemson. He's got one-on-one against Luke Evans outside, and just watch him run up on him, and he keeps the route tight. He gives Riley Leonard plenty of room, and what a throw. If you were to walk the ball out there, that's where you would place it. Riley Leonard on time, in rhythm, a big-time throw in a one-on-one situation. The Irish have struggled here in the first half. The last 2 drives, a different story. Riley Leonard to Bo Collins making a difference for the Irish.
And you know that's all Riley Leonard has heard, right? He knows, he's heard the chatter. When are we going to see some type of downfield passing offense and productivity? Well, you just saw it there.
You can turn off all the TVs in the goo where Notre Dame football players hang out all day. Get rid of ESPN. Don't listen to the noise, but it's there. They can feel it. And making a throw and catch like that certainly alleviates some of the pressure on them. They've gotten into a little bit of rhythm here the last 2 drives, feeling good going into halftime.
Jeter with a low driving kick. Kevin Davis is going to watch it go through the end zone. And so Miami with 1:05 here left and none of their timeouts. See how risky Chuck Martin and the Miami offense gets here.
And for Brett Gabbert, you just have to be smart here too. Down 14-3 very much in this ball game. The momentum has swung. Don't let it swing even more. Run the ball, screen, high percentage throw to try to get this drive started and get this Notre Dame defense on its heels.
Gabbert's going to throw on first down, eludes the pressure, and finally is dropped just short of the 25-yard line by Boubacar Traore. A loss of 1.
Timeout, Notre Dame. That's their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Notre Dame calls a timeout. It's first of the half. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. A loss on the sack by Traore, filling in again at the starting spot for Jordan Botelho, out for the season for Notre Dame. Traore had a nice 34-yard interception for a touchdown against Purdue last year. And Marcus Freeman hoping that his team gets in here with a 14-3 lead at the half. Gabbert with more pressure, and that was Traore again pressuring Gabbert.
I really like the timeout by Marcus Freeman after the first down sack. And really what he's doing, he's sending a message to his defense and he's sending a message to his offense that we're going to keep the pedal down. We're going to keep attacking. Argument could be made, hey, 2 scoring drives, we're up 14-3 going to half. He said, we need to take this thing to another level. They call the timeout, they create the incompletion on second down, and now they're going to have an opportunity. They get off the field here to come back the other way with 2 timeouts and pile on another score.
Notre Dame defense has looked good here as of late, and Traore leading the way. Third down and 11. Gabbert incomplete. Fourth down. Intended for Reggie Virgil out there, but it never really had a chance.
Interesting decision by Miami there in a 3rd and long type situation, not to run the football and force Notre Dame to use the timeout. They throw another incomplete. Now Notre Dame's going to get the ball back with 40 or so seconds and 2 timeouts. The officials seem to be gathering. We'll see what they have to say.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 8, defense. 15-yard penalty.
Oh, man.
Automatic first down.
Don Schuler.
First unsportsmanlike.
Freeman is livid.
Miami.
This is how it happened. There's Schuler. Tosses the ball over to the Miami sideline.
Yeah, just lack of discipline right there. I don't know if he was throwing it at somebody to send a message, but the officials saw it that way. Now Miami has new life on this drive.
Yep. There's nothing violent about the penalty, but it was just,
Timeout.
the official stepping in.
That's their second charge timeout.
And Notre Dame calls another timeout here.
timeout.
43 seconds to go. And we'll see if that penalty ends up haunting Freeman and Notre Dame. Look at Freeman. He just says, believe it.
Yeah, subtle difference here in taking this timeout here. Obviously less time on the clock, now 43 seconds. And you only have one more after this. So they got to be a little careful here. They're out towards middle of the field. If Miami can make a play in this situation, all of a sudden they get themselves into field goal range. But again, Marcus trying to have an aggressive mentality with his defense, trying to give his offense one more opportunity. Let's see if Miami can take advantage.
Notre Dame trying to run its record to 3-0 versus Miami. Again, the only loss they ever had to a MAC opponent came a couple of weeks ago to Northern Illinois, who was picked 3rd in the preseason polls in the MAC, while Miami, the defending champs, was picked to defend successfully. And they are in it here against Notre Dame, down 14-3. Gabbert just scrambles and slides in at about the 47-yard line. Clock continuing to roll. It will after they get up in position and roll the clock. And yeah, Chuck says, let's go. We're out of timeouts. We got to get up here.
They need about 15 more yards to give themselves an opportunity to kick this field goal and get some points before the half.
Gabbert, no one in the vicinity of that one.
Like how Gabbert got the ball out of his hands in that situation. Don't take the sack, throw the incompletion, live for another down. I'd like to see them get Cade McDonald involved in this situation, see if they can get some yards here. Again, they have no timeouts.
Number 5, offense.
Ooh.
The penalty is lost it down at the previous spot. Previous play is qualifies for a 10-second runoff.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a couple of Notre Dame players on that sideline. Says, where was anybody? Here it is again.
He was certainly in the pocket.
Yep.
Getting the ball out. I initially thought the slot receiver
Notre
was...
Dame has elected to take a 10-second runoff. Please set the clock to 2 seconds, and the clock will start on my signal.
Big break there by the Irish. I thought the slot receiver was breaking out. He was running up the field. Certainly a Hail Mary situation, if nothing else.
And the clock rolls.
Miami, and they let
That's
it go.
the end of the first half.
And that does it. But if you would have told Chuck Martin that he'd be down 14-3 at half to the 17th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish, he would take it in a heartbeat. Halftime coming up. Irish will get the second half kick. Lackluster start, but they turned it on a little bit here as they head to the locker room at Notre Dame Stadium. Get set for the second half. Miami, Ohio hanging in there, just 11 down. Riley Leonard, total offense, the first 3 drives, 16 yards. The last 2 drives started to put it together, including his first touchdown pass of the season, a 38-yarder to Clemson transfer Bo Collins. The Red Hawks rushing yards, first 2 games we talked about it, last in the FBS. Today they already have more yards in the first half than they did combined in the first 2 games, so that's been a big factor for them to stay in the game. First half offense the last 2 weeks just destroyed Purdue in the first half a week ago. Today, much different story against a MAC team, Jason Garrett.
Yeah, you would think those numbers would be flipped around. Have 390 against the MAC team and struggle a little bit more against the Big Ten team. But give Miami, Ohio some credit here. How they've come in here and they have not blinked going against Notre Dame. You got to believe the win that Northern Illinois had a couple weeks ago gave them some confidence to come in here and compete, and they certainly have.
So Notre Dame will get its hands on the football first. McLaughlin's kick into the end zone, and the Irish will come out to its 25. And before we get this first series underway, let's send you down to Zora.
Miami head coach Chuck Martin told me at the half that this game is an even fight so far, and his kids are doing exactly what they want them to do. He said, we are working our tails off. There's just a few mistakes that we want to clean up, including the penalties. For Notre Dame, head coach Marcus Freeman told me our ability to run the ball opened up the passing game. Coach said they want to take advantage of Miami's man coverage. He ended with, we know Riley Leonard can throw the ball. It was good to see him do it.
All right, so let's see if Riley Leonard can continue this momentum after establishing it late in the first half. And they started off with their main man, Love, who moves the pile close up to the 30-yard line. Brian Ugu on the stop for Miami.
And that's going to be Notre Dame's bread and butter here, to get the ball to this guy right here, Jeremiah Love. Dynamic player, but can run the ball inside as well. I liked how Notre Dame took their 3 receivers and spread them out really wide to try to lighten up the box, the area around the football, to get the numbers right. Good first down play to start the second half.
Gain of 3 for Love. And now Leonard's first pass of this second half, just a short one to Love. He tries to make something out of it, and he gets close to the first down. In fact, I think he got it. Yes. 1st and 10, as again you see that quickness of Love.
This guy is something else now. He can run the ball inside. He's a dynamic receiver, and we touched on it. The coaches rave about his athleticism and liked what Riley Leonard did here. Didn't like what he saw down the field checks the ball down to his best runner. They call them running backs for a reason. Give them the ball. They run the best on the team.
Empty set on first down, and Leonard has another strike there just across the 40-yard line. That ball complete to Eli Raridon, third on the depth chart. But he got a little action last week at Purdue. He had 3 receptions for 30 yards and picks up his first of this game. Good for 6.
And a good decision by Riley, just taking another completion. Get this Miami defense on their heels a little bit with positive plays in the run and pass game.
On second down at 4, and it's a fake to Love, and Riley Leonard takes off. Another first down for him. More huge yardage. The ball is loose. A scramble for it, still loose. They're all over it at the 15-yard line. Tough to tell who got it. And now they're saying Miami's got it.
Miami.
Leonard loose for a huge gain, and then it was Luke Evans who recovered it for Miami after it was stripped and knocked away by Michael Yarborough.
Clinic reel. Yarborough coming in with the right hand and just punching the football. A huge gain by Leonard. Great House is in the middle of it. You never know what's happening underneath that pile. Looked like Faison had an opportunity. Miami defender just wrestled it away. Evans down there just winning at the bottom of the pile. The ball has been an issue for Notre Dame in this game. The Faison drop punt earlier. Now this turnover coming out when Notre Dame is driving, keeping Miami in this ball game.
Second turnover for Notre Dame. Leonard, after a huge gain down there, 43 yards, coughs it up. Good play, got to hand it to the Miami defense, aggressively stripping Leonard of the ball, and now Gabbard here starts his first series at his own 14. And this is Keon Mosey for a short game.
Dan, if you remember Peanut Tillman, the great defender for the Chicago Bears, he was a master at that. When he was tackling people, always being able to punch the ball out and so accurate with those punches. And Yarborough doing the same thing on Riley Leonard. And it's hard to do. You're trying to get this quarterback down. He's running all over you. He grabs him with the left and punches accurately down, knocking the ball out. A lot of white shirts chasing the ball. They come up with a big takeaway for Miami.
Second down at 7. That's McDonald in motion to the left, and he sprints up. And they go to him, and it's complete. Short of the first down. Jordan Clark was on the coverage as McDonald was able to get 6, but again, just short of the marker.
Hey, starts with the protection up front. Veteran offensive line. Gabbard gets back and gets that ball out of his hand and going to his favorite target, but a nice clean pocket. Excellent protection by the lineman. Downing the back, stepping up in there, right on the face mask. It's a good matchup.
That's what you see
McDonald working in Clark.
so often from McDonald, right? They put him in motion. I mean, he'll catch all sorts of passes. They'll go deep to him. They'll go the bubble route. They'll mix it up.
McDonald's an NFL player. Reminds me of a young Julian Edelman. Can do all things in the slot. Really productive.
Third and less than a yard on the ground and looking for that yardage. And good surge there by Notre Dame. That was Jordan Brunson being stopped. Short of the first down. They'll bring up 4th and short.
You got to punt it here. As much as your emotions tell you, hey, we can go make this thing, you got to punt it and play field position. You're down 11. Couldn't take advantage of the takeaway. Notre Dame defense rising up in a sudden change situation and winning up front.
Bevelheimer. And this one just kind of goes off the right side of his foot. Faison's going to let it roll. Takes a Red Hawk bounce. And they're lucky to get it all the way down to the 26, 27-yard line. So Riley Leonard had a good run going down the sidelines until Yarborough came in and punched it out, and Miami recovered it. So a tough start to this second half for Riley Leonard. Was brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands. And by Jersey Mike Subs. Be a sub above. Looking at colleges with both a Super Bowl winning quarterback and a U.S. president, Miami, Ohio had two Big Bens, Ben Roethlisberger and Benjamin Harrison, the 23rd president of the United States.
That's my favorite trivia question of all time right there, Dan. Five universities.
Where was the Princeton, your alma mater, representation there?
Unfortunately, Princeton has a...
they got the presidential part.
They got a president. They don't have a starting quarterback. They got a backup.
Jadarian Price starts this latest series for Notre Dame, just strings it out there, gets basically nothing. Bring up 2nd down and 10. So Notre Dame fortunate that Miami did not turn that last turnover by Riley Leonard into points. So Notre Dame here in the 2nd series trying to have a clean drive and increase this lead.
Yeah, talk about a roller coaster for the team and for their quarterback, Riley Leonard. Not real good early, better at the end of the half. A great run, then he fumbles. He's got to settle down and play consistently.
This pass is complete, and that's Bo Collins who caught that 38-yarder for a touchdown. Such a good player. Going to be a Sunday player for sure, Coach, you would think, right? 6'3". He was sold on Notre Dame when he first visited here.
Yeah, when you call plays, you want to throw the ball to the guys where good things happen. Every time they throw the ball to Bo Collins, good things happen. Every time they hand it to 4, good things happen. Keep doing that.
Freeman called Bo Collins a man's man. He says he's never seen such a work ethic from a wide receiver as he gets out of Collins. This pass complete to Mitchell, and Mitchell's got a first down. Chris Mitchell beginning to be a part of this game plan as we were told and expected.
Protection up front was excellent. Riley Leonard confident and comfortable in the pocket going through his progression. He looked right first, worked his way all the way back to Mitchell. Mitchell presented himself. Good throw and catch.
Notre Dame all the way up to the 41-yard line. Kind of a low snap. Leonard able to handle it. Price, not much going at all. Maybe a yard.
Just really impressed with how Miami plays defense. They swarm, they run to the football. When you get a lot of guys around the football on defense, good things happen. 8 guys around the line of scrimmage, penetration up front. They set the edge to the defense, meaning they turn the ball back inside, and then a host of tacklers make the play.
Bill Brecken, that defensive coordinator from Miami, has been with Chuck Martin the whole time in his tenure there. And now Leonard goes down, and this drive all of a sudden is stalling. That is Brian Ugu bringing Leonard down.
Ugu is the transfer from Rutgers. We've seen him make some plays in the run game. Relentless pass rusher. This is him working on Knapp, the true freshman. Knapp's in good position. Ugu keeps playing. Swipes his hands away, works back inside as Riley Leonard climbs the pocket, and he goes and makes the play. Great rushers accelerate to the quarterback at the end of the down. Great example there by Ugu.
Leonard usually so good about avoiding sacks. The first sack of the day for Miami on 3rd and long. They go out to Collins. He gets a gain, but it's not near enough. It's going to bring up 4th down, and the punting unit, that's Salopek, who they call the tackling machine, brought Bo Collins down.
Salopek was the Defensive Player of the Year in the MAC last year. One of the best players ever in the history of this program, and really the heart and soul of this defense. Productive player, really smart, great communicator, but at the end of it, he makes a lot of tackles. Good job getting off the field by Miami.
So it's James Rendell with another good punt here. He's had punts of 53, 54, and Cade McDonald comes in to make the catch, but there's a flag down. As the fair catch was made at the 17. Flag was all the way back down at the opposite end at the 42.
Been sloppy here today for Marcus's team. Sloppy with the football, pre-snap penalties, post-play penalties. They're waiting to see the call here.
Legal formation, kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. There were more than 4 players in the backfield. First down, Miami, media timeout.
Yeah, so that improves Miami's field position. They'll nudge it up to the 22-yard line when we come back. Brett Gabbert coming up. To other coaching greatness, of course, Paul Brown. Hard to match what he's done in the sport. Ara Parseghian, we talked about him. Bo Schembechler was the head coach at Miami. John Harbaugh was a player. And if you look at just those 9 players and coaches that you saw go by there, they have amassed 8 Super Bowls, all those NFL championships, NCAA titles. It has been quite the place, the cradle of coaches. Gabbert from the 22, and that pass is intercepted. That was Christian Gray. As Gabbert was going for the big one, but Christian Gray, another turnover he snags for Notre Dame.
All it is a go route outside versus man-to-man coverage, and it's a good release. Gabbert a little bit late with the throw and a little bit short with the throw. What a recovery by Christian Gray. Had gotten beaten earlier in this game and was in and out of the lineup. Jaden Mickey was playing a little bit over there. He gets an opportunity, and he makes Gabbert and Miami pay. Again, the ball a little short. Great closing speed and a heck of a catch by Christian Gray. Notre Dame back in business.
Big time interception as the turnover department is now tied at 2 apiece. First interception for Gray this year, and it sets Notre Dame up here at its own 40. Leonard has completed 9 of his last 11 passes, so he's found the groove. They'll keep it on the ground here. And a good gain for Notre Dame. Up the middle is Jeremiah Love.
Notre Dame back on the ball. Run game has been effective for these guys. They're trying to put some pressure on this Miami defense. The best way to do that is get number 4 going and get this quarterback run game going.
Leonard buying some time. He's on the run again, and he eludes the pursuit and ends up making something out of it. Indeed, picks up the first down. He's high wise on the cover on the tackle of Leonard.
Yeah, excuse me, Dan. He's such a sneaky, quick scrambler. It looks like people are all around him, and he's got that big frame and those long legs, and somehow he gets out of those situations and can make productive yards. And that's when Notre Dame is at their best, when he's running design runs and then making positive plays with his feet when things break down in the passing game.
And this is a design running play. Leonard picks up another good gain. He's racking up the rushing yards. He had 80 yards on 8 attempts before that latest gain of 5.
You know, we touched on the cradle of coaches before. You look at those names, they're literally the greatest names in the history of coaching. You mentioned Paul Brown and his influence on the game, and Sid Gilman, and all the different guys who went there and then coached there, and the trees that come from them. John Harbaugh, Sean McVay, 2 NFL coaches right now. They have statues as well, and such gratitude for being part of that lineage.
Leonard going for another deep one down the field. He's got a man, and that's going to be pass interference as Chris Mitchell was interfered with there. That was Luke Evans, who was all over Mitchell too much, and draws the flag.
Chris Mitchell really showing up.
Pass interference. Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It wasn't as clear cut as I first thought.
Yeah, Mitchell showing up in this game. And if you look at it right here, here's a free safety. It's a single high defense, but he plays down. There's nobody deep in the middle of the field with outside leverage by the corner. It's a golden opportunity to make a play down the field, and Mitchell can run. He runs the deep post. Riley sees it, gives him a chance. They draw the DPI.
Inside the Miami 30, and this is Love who gets the first down call to about the 26, 27-yard line.
It's an interesting defense that Miami plays. It's a single high defense, meaning it's free safety deep in the middle of the field, but they don't give them that middle of the field responsibility. They like to get them down around the line of scrimmage to help defend the run and the quarterback run. You leave those corners out on an island, Notre Dame trying to take advantage.
Leonard going for another deep one. Down to the corner, juggled and incomplete. Jaden Harrison, the intended receiver this time from Leonard, as they're taking some shots downfield.
When the quarterback comes to the line of scrimmage and you see this look, slot, man-to-man coverage with no safety help, you put the bib on. there's your opportunity. One of your fastest guys, Jaden Harrison, running the inside fade. It's excellent coverage by Walters.
He almost was able to grab that, snatch it out of the air.
He sure was. Riley gave him a chance. You'd like to get that ball out over his outside shoulder to that green grass a little bit more. He was late and short. Big play by Walters, knocking it out.
3rd and 8. And this is a nice play and a first down to Jaden Harrison.
Again, a lot of first option throws that Mike Denbrock is dialing up. We saw the post, we saw the inside fade, and now you see receiver Harrison coming over. You get a little bit of a rub in man-to-man coverage. He runs up, he runs out. His defender has to go over the top. That's the first guy Riley's looking for, and he's on the money. Big conversion.
You're right, we're seeing that mix of plays. That was a gain of 12. So Notre Dame at the Miami 15. And this is Love. And Love is going to get in for the touchdown for Notre Dame. Ball is loose as he got into the end zone. We've got one official signaling a touchdown.
Looks like they recovered it anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on the field and ball carrier broke the plane prior to losing possession. Touchdown Notre Dame.
Yeah, so it was the
Timeout, injured.
initial run there by Love that got in, breaking the plane, so the fumble was a moot point.
Take a look at this from down the line. Doing a good job securing the ball. There's that punch out again. I'll tell you what, that ball is out.
There's no way
That ball is out, and that's why you have to go chase the ball. Everybody run to the ball at the end of the down. It looks like Emil Wagner
got it.
Is the guy who gets it, and he's going to get the touchdown. This is the value of quarterback run down in the red zone. Leonard scored earlier, so these two guys on the right side of your screen, they're defending Riley Leonard. And now you have Jeremiah Love running through the heart of the defense.
So Mitch Jeter to try to make it a 21-3 game, and he splits the uprights. So Notre Dame beginning to assert itself. 4:17 left in the third. Ups the lead to 18 over Chuck Martin in Miami. One in the world, the U.S. team taking on Hideki Matsuyama and the international side next weekend on NBC, Golf Channel, and Peacock. Great club there, Royal Montreal.
And you will be there.
We will be there. See if Captain Mike Weir can drum up some something special for the home team, Canada. Yep. He took down Tiger Woods in the last President's Cup they staged there, and that was like national holiday for Canada, even though the U.S. won. But looking forward to that one. Notre Dame 21-3 now. They have reeled off 21 unanswered points and have really kind of taken charge after that initial field goal, which gave Miami the lead early in the second quarter.
Not the situation that Miami wants to be in against Notre Dame. And the last thing they want to do is get out of balance on offense and let this Notre Dame defensive line start teeing off and rushing the passer. So try to maintain the balance. Try to get the ball out of your hand. Try to keep running the football. Again, get the ball to 15 McDonald. He's been your best player. And just try to put a drive together.
Yeah, Notre Dame has really taken charge in total offense in this third quarter alone. They've got 125 yards to Miami's 9. This is Jordan Brunson starting this latest series off for the Red Hawks.
You saw a look at Al Golden, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, and for my money, the best defensive coordinator in the country. This guy's a phenomenal football coach, and the plans he puts together week in and week out, and how this team plays and puts so much pressure on the opposing offense, does an outstanding job. Hold Miami to 3 today.
Golden, the former head coach at Temple in Miami, before the linebacker coach in the NFL for the Bengals, now on the sidelines in his third year here for Notre Dame. 2nd down and 8 for Gabbard. Incomplete as he won a McDonald. And it was Leonard Moore who's beginning to get more playing time at that corner position on the coverage.
Yeah, one of the interesting byproducts of last week is they get ahead 42-0 at half. as we look at this defensive line just coming off the ball and putting pressure on Gabbert. Onye is a guy who just continues to show up for Notre Dame. Whenever he gets an opportunity, he's doing good things. But a lot of the backup players played last week. A lot of the younger players played that last week. And the coaches said, hey, we need to give these guys more opportunities. Leonard Moore, one of them.
Gabbert has really had a problem on third downs. Lately, he threads this one through, incomplete. Dangerous pass there. A flag has now been thrown, as it was intended for Jack Coldiron.
Pass interference. Defense, number 2. First down at the spot of the foul.
Yeah, that's
automatic
a big one.
first down.
Rod Hurd.
Gabbert standing in, throwing the ball in traffic. And whenever you take that right hand and you kind of hook, they're going to call that.
Gabbert took a shot here.
Sure did. That's Boubacar hitting him in the head. Typically you see a flag thrown on that one. I think the officials missed it.
So, 1st and 10 now for Miami. Trying to get back in this game. As Davis in motion in that flurry of play action before it's completed close to the 40-yard line to Preston Daniel.
That's a hard guy to fool right there. Jack Kaiser, been here at Notre Dame for a long time, a veteran linebacker, and he keys and diagnoses and figure out what the offense is doing as well as anybody they have on their football team. They try to go misdirection. Kaiser not having any part of it. He was in coverage. Good job making the play.
One of the 4 captains on this Notre Dame defensive side. In his 6th final year, now the man who calls all those plays for that Notre Dame defense. 2nd down and 5 from the 39.
Pressure.
Gabbert gets rid of it. Pass incomplete. It was in and out of the arms of Kevin Davis. Xavier Watts was on the coverage there. The Nagurski Award from last year.
Excuse me, Dan. Al Golden, the defensive coordinator, not afraid to bring heat, not afraid to play man-to-man coverage, and they put this guy in man-to coverage all the time. Xavier Watts, one of their best players, and he too, great poise at the ball, like Morrison. He doesn't get there too early. He doesn't panic. He doesn't contact the receiver, just gets the hand in, knocks it out, and goes to the next down.
He's another one of those captains on the Notre Dame defense. 3rd down and 5 now for Gabbert. Can he keep this drive going? Already 2.5 minutes left here. The 3rd and no. Incomplete. That'll bring a 4th down and a punt from Miami. Xavier Yachts was all over Cade McDonald again.
And this is what makes it so hard on the opposing offensive line and the opposing quarterback is Golden brings pressure, then he shows pressure, they drop out, they play man, they play zone, and then you have these elite cover guys on the back end, and one more time they try to go at Watts. It's not a good idea. McDonald at Watts, 2 of the best players on the field. Watts wins the battle.
Bevelheimer, kind of a low end over end. Faison calling for the fair catch at the 22-yard line. And Notre Dame with some big-time momentum will try to distance itself even more from the Red Hawks here on this next drive. In all of college football, a pig up for grabs.
It really is. And trust me, they were aggressive trying to get it. I love the responsibility of putting it over your shoulder and bringing it to the ball game.
Nice little toss here to Jaden Harrison as Notre Dame begins this latest drive at his 22. Jaden Harrison active in a number of plays today, a variety of ways.
And that's it. That's the right word, variety. Notre Dame has to get back to their DNA and be a running football team. But you can run it different ways. You just can't hand the ball off and try to run north and south at the teeth of the defense. Get some of your playmakers out in space. That's what Harrison can do.
Riley Leonard has found 8 different receivers today. Keeps this one on the ground, and that is all the way across the 30. Brought down by Silas Walters, Jadarian Price. So no doubt about it, Notre Dame flexing its muscles and all that talent, moving the Miami defensive front around now.
The best runners just have a feel and they have an instinct. Motion Evans in. Offensive line doing a heck of a job knocking the Miami front off the ball, but low center of gravity, feels where the pressure is, gets north and south on his cuts. Price is a productive runner.
And he's set up to Riley Leonard's right. Flags come in. And we got a false start.
False start. Number 72, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the third on Sam Pendleton.
These are things that drive you crazy as an offensive coach as you're trying to establish some rhythm in your offense. 2 positive plays to start the drive, and then again a pre-snap penalty. And Pendleton's one of those tough guys who wants to come off the ball and maul you. He's got to play with more poise.
He's got to beat out Coogan and Spindler for the starting spot to begin the year. Coogan and Spindler forced into the lineup again with the injuries up front for Notre Dame. Leonard nicely feels the pressure and pass complete for a good gain to Bo Collins.
And this is a hard team to complete that ball against because they have so many people down around the line of scrimmage. They're taking away the run. It's a run-pass option. Excellent throw, excellent route by Bo Collins getting that completion.
Quick look to the right side. Leonard's got another guy. And rangy Mitchell Evans getting a little more than you might first expect. 6'5", 260. As 59, Emil Wagner is now limping. And Notre Dame can ill afford to have anybody go down further in that offensive front. On 1st and 10, nice. Well, it looked like it was going to be a nice grab by Evans. Almost was able to pull it in from the other shoulder.
And for those Notre Dame fans who are frustrated with the Notre Dame passing game, that's the play right there. The makeable plays that they're just not hitting on. We saw a couple of them early in the first half. You go naked, you have an open receiver, you throw it behind him. As we look at Emil Wagner, the right tackle, looked like he was hobbling before that last play. Looks like he's going to be okay.
Staying in there, hobbling around. On 2nd down and 10, Leonard going for another big one down the sideline. Just incomplete. And that was Bo Collins, who already has a 38-yard touchdown pass. Rayon Strader on the coverage, and that brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Notre Dame stretching its lead to 21-3, looking for its first home victory of the season. After a little bit of up and down stuff earlier, the Irish have gained control.
Okay, early on in this ball game, Notre Dame's quarterback Riley Leonard really struggled, lacking confidence and missing throws left and right, easy ones, throws he's got to make. But as this game has gone on, he's gotten more and more comfortable. Protection is clean. He's getting through his progressions, making accurate throws, and then the big one down the sidelines to Bo Collins. So if you're a Notre Dame fan and you're interested in Notre Dame throwing the ball at a higher level, it's been a little inconsistent, but gotten better and better as this game has gone on. A lot of encouragement for that guy right there, Riley Leonard.
They need a good one here in a 3rd down and 10 situation. Leonard is the leading rusher in the game with 85 yards on 9 attempts. 154 yards through the airs and that one touchdown pass to Bo Collins. 3rd down and 10 from its own 46. Leonard wanted Collins, was behind him a little bit there.
It sure was, Dan, and really behind and late was the issue. The hole where he threw the ball was the right hole, but he's late. The pocket is clean. Collins getting out of that. Now, if you're Collins, you say, hey, I got to stop and make that play. But, you know, that's been pretty typical of this Notre Dame pass offense. A little too early, a little too late, a little too far out in front, a little too behind. Has not been on a high level. Missed opportunity right there for the Irish.
But getting to this point in the game where Miami has to put something together here. Rendell's punt sailing McDonald's way, calls for the fair catch, and Miami will begin deep at its own 10 to try to make this a little closer after a 44-yard punt by Rendell. Well, here are Indiana's Cass County Panthers. Notre Dame linebacker Jack Kaiser's former youth team. He, along with DirecTV teamed up to surprise these kids with tickets to today's game. So it was a great moment for Jack Kaiser, obviously a great moment for the kids, and DirecTV making it all happen for Kaiser and the kids. Miami starting this drive at its 10, starts off with Mosey. Riley Mills brings him down after a short gain.
And Kaiser's kids happy to see number 24 out there playing and making the plays he's made all day long. One of the leaders of this defense, and not an easy situation for Chuck Martin's offense. Again, you have to have the mentality of trying to score once. You can't score 3 touchdowns at one time. It's one play at a time, and good job running the football here.
Yeah, gotta have to start, get some big chunks. However, which way, Jordan Brunson had a nice run there, picks up the first down after a gain of 12. Chuck Martin has been on both sides of the ball his entire career. He was the offensive coordinator for Notre Dame when they went to the national championship game back in 2012 under Brian Kelly. His roots are defense, but he can go on both sides of the football. Just one of those throwback college football coaches who's pretty much seen everything there is to see in his 30 years of college coaching. Another pretty good hole up the middle there, close to the 30-yard line.
He's a great football coach, and you said it. He's been an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, and a head coach. He can coach anything on the field, and he was the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame for Tommy Rees, the former Notre Dame quarterback and offensive coordinator. And I talked to Tommy this week. He said, I love Chuck. One of the best coaches I've been around. He can coach both sides of the ball, but he's an absolute lunatic. I love him to death.
When he gets in between these sidelines, oh, he got a ball loose as Jordan Brunson coughed it up, but he was marked down beforehand. And it's a first down for Miami. And let's check in with Zora.
Well, Chuck Martin credits his dad, Al, as having the biggest influence on his coaching style and maybe some of those lunatic tendencies that Coach was talking about. Al was never a coach, but a military man. Coach said, my dad set expectations, and I didn't always like the rules, but I always knew he loved us. Martin now uses his upbringing as a script for how he runs his football team.
He says, I coach how I was raised. On first down and 10, Gabbert incomplete. And he's just through in, through out, just a total throwback kind of guy. He talked to us about 515 Blair Street, right, Coach? He said Park Forest, that's where he grew up. He says his dad had tough love. He'd get he and his brother out there on the baseball diamond, and he would start batting ground balls to him. He said his brother was a lot more mentally tough than he was, but he really didn't realize how much his now 92-year-old father benefited him in his coaching and his life until a little bit later on in life. But that's always seems to be the case between fathers and sons, right?
Brother, great high school coach at Cuyahoga Heights, high school football and women's basketball, and certainly rubbed off on both those guys.
Here's McDonald, Gabbert's favorite target, and he gets close to the first down. Bring up third and short before Drake Bowen makes the stop.
He was just so much fun to talk to, and I asked him after he told the story about his dad, I said, was it a grumpy household? Was it a disciplined household? He said, yes. And he said, that's what my program is. And my goal as a coach is not to be liked by my players, is to help them maximize their ability. When they're 30 years old, look back and say, thanks, Coach, for pushing me. You made me be the best I can be, and I can't agree more.
Well, it's a big play here for the coach, and he picks up the first down. Into Irish territory goes Preston Daniel.
And just love the approach on this drive. They're running the football, they're going play action, they're just getting positive plays. The one thing I would say to them, though, is I'd like to see them get out of the huddle a little quicker. They need to maximize these possessions and get as many of them as they can, down 18 points with 11 and change to go.
And even if they come up short here, Coach, against Notre Dame, this bodes well, and we talked about it with Chuck Martin for the upcoming MAC schedule. As up the middle goes Jordan Brunson. But again, they have not played a MAC game yet. They're the defending champions of the MAC. We saw Northern Illinois come in here a couple weeks ago and beat Notre Dame. But Chuck Martin, who's won 2 MAC titles in the last 5 years for Miami, looking to defend that title and get things going in the right direction. But a really tough start to his season when you consider that they started off the Big Ten and Northwestern, Big 12 rivals Cincinnati and here at Notre Dame. And there goes Davis again, turning the corner, close to another first down. In fact, they're going to give it to him, I believe.
And a good tackle by Leonard Moore, the freshman, getting some opportunity out here, and they love this guy. Tall and long out of Round Rock, Texas, and again, extended playing time last week against Purdue and giving them more here today. And Notre Dame has a few of these guys. Al Golden's excited about the youth of this team, and you see Davis capturing the edge. See Moore reaching out and making that play, saving a big gain and possibly a touchdown for this Irish defense.
Miami showing a little life here. The only drive longer than this current one was the field goal drive, and that was a long time ago. And they are down by 18, spinning his way inside the 35-yard line. It's Dylan Downing.
But the mentality is right. You know, young teams, young quarterbacks, they get a little anxious. Hey, we're down 18. We got to. You can't hit a grand slam home run if nobody's on base, right? So this is the situation you're in. Drive the ball, score a touchdown, make it 21-10, put the pressure back on Notre Dame. That has to be the approach. Doing a good job executing it.
On second down, Gabbert goes to the air, and he wants McDonald. There's a lot of pushing going on the sideline, and out comes the flag on Jaden Mickey.
It's a good call. It's just a go route.
Pass interference. Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I like the call. Mickey's in press man-to-man coverage outside. Gabbert sees it. He's not going to get help from a safety. Give your best offensive player a chance. You see the left hand grabbing the jersey. Pretty easy call for the officials.
Big play for Miami to try to get back in this game with 9:10 left. They haven't scored since that field goal early in the game. But now they're set up inside the Irish 20. Gabbert, incomplete. Out there in the vicinity was Reggie Virgil. Second down.
Touched on Jason Onye earlier, backup defensive lineman. He's just a really productive player. I think he got in Gabbert's vision there, causing the errant throw. But Notre Dame has a number of these guys who come in, and whenever they get their opportunity, they show up. Disruptive in the passing game, makes plays in the run game. He's got a couple blocked field goals. These guys are invaluable to your football team.
Second down and 10. Gabbert incomplete. Third down and 10. That play never really had a chance. Drake Bowen blew it up. Preston Daniel was the intended receiver, and Bowen's fired up here.
You can see Drake Bowen getting more and more confident as he goes. This year, first-year starter at that middle linebacker position, a backup infielder on Notre Dame's baseball team, showing his athleticism there, and a good play. He's fired up. That enthusiasm is contagious throughout this defense. Here comes heat.
On third and 10, Gabbert sacked.
There he is.
Mr. Bowen makes a little call to Gabbert.
When you play against Al Golden's defense, you sit on the fastball. The fastball is pressure. Go to the line of scrimmage. You know you're going to get heat. You're going to get Bowen here off the edge. It's going to be a 6-man pressure. You're getting Xavier Watts. You're getting Bowen down the middle. Not enough guys to block. Bowen wrapping around, knows what to do when he gets Gabbert in his sights.
So this is a 49-yard field goal attempt by Jobin to try to cut it to 21-6. It was deflected at the line of scrimmage. So Notre Dame holds, and the Red Hawks come up empty. Chuck Martin needed a field goal to try to stay in this ball game and cut it to 21-6.
Media timeout.
But somebody up front got a hand on it, and Notre Dame holds. Doc original. Here come the Irish. Already been a couple of episodes that have streamed, and there is Dylan McCullough, obviously a big part of this Notre Dame coaching Steph, and a big part of a personal story that is so amazing. Hopefully we get a chance to tell you about it in just a second with Zora. In the meantime, Notre Dame hands it off to Jeremiah Love. Big gain for him before Jackson Kuwach brings him down, but not before he gets 10.
Dillon has done such a great job with the running backs here at Notre Dame through the years. He's got two of the best in the country, and you can see their development week after week after week under his coaching.
He was a part of that history at Miami, Ohio that we talked about. And some good football players go through there, including Dylan McCullough. This is Riley Leonard on the move once again as he is creeping close to another 100-yard rushing gain. That was a gain of 6.
He's the classic give you a leg and take it away. And I kind of agree with him. His moves are so unorthodox, it shocks these defenders. His change of direction, outstanding. He's a big guy. He chews up ground with every stride that he makes, and he's just a really, really productive runner.
And we were watching some video. He's an athletic guy, 6'4". He was a heck of a basketball player in Fairhope, Alabama, back in his day. Handoff here for a short gain on second down to Love.
He took the receivers and a whole group of guys down to Fairhope this offseason to work with Phillip Rivers and his brother Steven, who work with quarterbacks and receivers across the country. Phillip's a great high school coach down there, living down there in Fairhope, and you know, just one of those guys. He's a legend athletically, and they're working hard to try to refine their passing game right now. Been better today.
Leonard looking for the first down line. Not sure he got it. He's just short. He needed to get past midfield. But yeah, that was the Fairhope quarterback wide receiver camp that was totally organized by Riley Leonard. He got a number of wide receivers down there and used Phillip Rivers' 60-yard field in his backyard, which is a nice facility to be able to use, right?
Absolutely.
Trying to build that chemistry with his wide receivers. And so there was no wonder that Riley Leonard was voted as a captain for Notre Dame before he even took a snap. So 4th and short here. Notre Dame going for it. And why wouldn't it be Riley Leonard up the middle? And nothing but grass ahead of him. 50 yards. The latest touchdown route for Leonard. And that brings the total to 143 yards for Leonard, who rushed for 100 yards last week in the first half alone.
Sometimes it feels a little sloppy with Notre Dame's offense, a little out of rhythm, but when you get in these moments right here, these short yardage situations, these red zone situations, hand the ball to this guy because good things happen. They pulled the backside guard. They pulled the halfback. They run a quarterback counter with Riley Leonard, and he takes it to pay dirt.
Mitch Jeter tacks on another one as Riley Leonard runs for another one. He's got 2 more touchdown runs today, bringing his season total to 6. This drive comprised all rushing yards, and it's the captain from Fairhope, Alabama, who brought it home from 50 out.
Embrace it.
143 more on the ground, 2 more touchdowns. Be who you are, right, Coach? That's
Absolutely.
what you said as we went to break, and that's what Riley Leonard has turned into again today, going to his strengths after some struggles through the air earlier. He's had some good connections. He's had some good rhythm, but by far the most consistent part of his game is what we've been seeing and how Notre Dame is taking control of this game. Well, let's see who's going above the rest, Coach. Brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs.
Hey, it's Boubacar Traore getting an opportunity to start because of the injury to Jordan Botello, and he has taken advantage of it. You can see the athleticism on the inside move, gets off the ball, rushing up the field. Gabber climbs the pocket, he gets back up into it. So he's a big, strong guy. He's long, he plays with good leverage. Most importantly, he plays with a relentless spirit. When you play next to Howard Cross and Riley Mills, that stuff is contagious. This young guy has learned it. It's showing up on the field. Excellent day for Traore.
New quarterback in the game for Miami, Henry Hessen, the redshirt sophomore from Plainfield, Indiana, getting some time. He actually got some time last week in the final seconds against Cincinnati. So Gabbert out of the game, out of reach, and the junior taking over.
Good decision here by Chuck Martin to get Gabbert out. Coming off the injury from last year. He's had other injuries throughout his career. He was game today. He was competitive. It'll be hard for them to come back and win this game, give Hessen some opportunities, and keep Gabbert healthy.
They'll just kind of grind things out here on the ground with Hessen handing off to Jordan Brunson.
One thing that's been fairly consistent for Notre Dame here the last few years has been their defense. Their defense travels. The defense plays well at home. Week in and week out, they typically keep the score down, and it starts with those guys up front, that front seven. They do an excellent job defending the run, making teams one-dimensional, and then they have some elite cover guys in the back end, and see a lot of young guys out there right now. Leonard Moore, see Kennedy Urlacher, some guys who got some playing time last week and really showed up. Irish staff excited to see them out there again getting some work.
Hessen downfield, almost picked off. He had it for a moment, but just out of the arms there of Carson Hobbs.
Hobbs does an excellent job outside. Miami trying to run the seam, and he's the outside corner. He's reading the quarterback's eyes. When he sees his guy run a short route, he overlaps on the inside seam, breaks on it.
Thought he had his first pick for Notre Dame.
He sure did. He was all over it. You got to finish the play, but good anticipation there by the youngster.
Three-star recruit out of Moeller High School in Cincinnati.
Another one of those young guys getting a chance to play.
Another one of those guys. Flag comes in as Max Hurleman is back deep. Faison now not returning with a game out of hand.
Illegal formation, kicking team, more than 4 players in the backfield. That 5-yard penalty will be added on to the end of at the end of the kick. First down, Notre Dame. Media timeout.
So it will be interesting to see if Marcus Freeman gives Riley Leonard a break. I would think that we might see us to the Louisville Cardinals right here in South Bend. Number 19 Louisville, who's beating Georgia Tech at the moment, 24-19 in the fourth quarter, taking on the 17th ranked Fighting Irish in a big game as Notre Dame tries to stay clean, gives himself a chance in the 12-team playoff. As I mentioned, Steve Angeli, the quarterback in for Notre Dame, and this handoff goes to Aeneas Williams.
Yeah, and the big takeaway getting ready for the game against Louisville next week is Notre Dame cannot be as sloppy as they have been in all phases of their team. Turning the ball over, penalties. They're not going to beat the number 19 team in the country in Louisville here next week if they play this way. They played better as this game has gone on, but Jeff Brom is an outstanding coach, building a heck of a program there at Louisville. It'll be a different kind of challenge for the Irish.
Well, that was a big win for Louisville. Crowd stormed the field as Brom was in his first season at Louisville, so that's been his signature win, the win over Notre Dame, which was ranked 10th at the time last year, so that was a costly loss for Marcus Freeman. So it'll be interesting to see how this week goes for Freeman as he gets his team up for Louisville. And Jelly on the mark here before Riley Leonard threw his touchdown pass today, his first of the season. It was Angeli who had 2 touchdown passes last week in the lopsided win over Purdue, which accounted for the only 2 scores through the air.
Just so impressed by Steve Angeli, just his ability to come in and just play well. Whenever he gets an opportunity, he comes in, he completes passes, they move the ball, they score points. Played awfully well in the Sun Bowl last year when Sam Hartman opted out of the game, and again, very productive last week against Purdue.
Play action, Angeli on the run, avoids the pressure, pass in and out of the arms.
Looks like it was KK
Smith 11, yeah.
On the sideline, and really good field by Angeli coming out of the pocket, pressure in his face, move to his right, keeps the eyes up, and this is what he does. He's just a consistent player. He's accurate. He throws catchable passes from the pocket when he's on the move. Irish are lucky to have him.
Yeah, you need depth, right? You never know what's going to happen. Your number 1 guy, and Angeli I think Notre Dame would feel comfortable with him in there. Obviously, Riley Leonard's their guy, as Devin Ford takes it out for a gain of about 4 or 5. And that should be the last play as we approach the last 2-minute timeout here in the 4th. So Chuck Barnes is going to come up a little bit short in a memorable trip to Notre Dame. Maybe not on the scoreboard, but I know he had a chance to say hello to some friends and faces that he hasn't seen in a while. But Notre Dame on the verge of victory here. 2 minutes left.
Because of the connection he felt with the coach who recruited him, Sherman Smith. People often said the two looked alike. They would laugh it off, though. Years after graduation, and McCullough, who was adopted, was on a journey to find his birth parents. Documents and testing led him right back to a man he'd known for 27 years. Look at them right there. Sherman Smith. Yes, the man who brought McCullough to Miami is his biological dad.
Incredible story. It's hard to really encompass the whole thing. Zori did a great job of it in just a few seconds. Flag comes in here as Angeli
roughing the passer.
Was roughed up there, and that's what the penalty is.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So 3 generations at Miami. Dealin's son went to Miami. Incredible story. All those years later, all those thoughts that he had in his head, there was something special about this guy, and as Zora explained, he finds out all these years later that the guy that mentored him, the guy that he looked for advice with when he went on to his coaching career and Sherman went on to his coaching career, ends up being his own father. Just incredible story. Just another one of those stories that kind of intertwines the great football story school of Miami, Ohio, too.
No doubt. And Dealin's son is on the staff at Notre Dame as well. The generations of these guys, and for them to have that natural connection and that mentorship before they knew they were father and son is pretty amazing to me. And to find that out later and know the impact that each of them had on each other, pretty special.
It's a story you make movies about, and there could be one coming up, at least a book, right? Devin Ford with just 1:15 left in this game. And Coach, we talked, I remember at the end of the game, the Northern Illinois loss, we talked about Notre Dame kind of getting ahead of itself and all the fans and all the noise. And now it's clear what Marcus Freeman and his Irish have to do, right? They have to run the table, you would think, pretty much to have any chance of being a part of that 12-team playoff. But now they get through 2 MAC schools here. Both played them tough for a while, and now the real schedule starts to kick in, especially with Louisville coming here next week.
Well, it sure does, and that's the reality of the situation. But if you're a coach or a player at Notre Dame, you can't think that way. You have to think about, hey, we got to focus on this game, and then we got to focus on cleaning up this game, and then practicing well on Monday. And it's all coach speak, it's all cliche, but it's so true. And when they've gotten in trouble, they've gotten away from that. So they have to make the improvements. There are plenty they need to make coming out of this ball game, and they have a real challenge next week against the Louisville Cardinal coming here as we look at Chuck Martin and Marcus Freeman embracing after the ball game.
Marcus Freeman writes a message that he pretty much gives to the team after every game, and it was after the Purdue game when they blew out the Boilermakers. He said, let's replicate this, let's do it. And then he said, no, I need to kind of change it up here. We don't need to replicate it, we need to bring the level higher each and every game, and that is now his newfound mantra.